Get 'em, Jimmy, where low shack at? The bottle's getting empty up the crack and we stacking chips. All of it's what I want, plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone, I prefer elevated public sports radio. Time to get educated, get produced, lead the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call a truce. They getting slaughtered, can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon, 'cause we be pubbing.
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Wednesday, June 21st to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. Goddamn, Giants are relentless. Relentless, the San Francisco Giants. No lead is safe. I'm glad that Tom Miggins, some of the squad cashed huge live bets on them, but it cost me a winning day. Big difference between 4-2 and 3-3. Phillies first 5 cashed. Rays first 5 and full game -0.5, -1 respectively was a debacle. Oakland, Cleveland under 9 was very easy. Padres first 5 was very easy. But Padres full game came and got me. Got me. Lucky Power, what's happening? Great to see all of you guys. Razor sharp picks, big day yesterday. Today, Razor going for his 4th straight winning day. Respect strategic investments on New York, Seattle under 9. Our guy, strategic investments. I've got to get out to him, man. He's in the Dominican, and he does it nice in the Dominican. Let's move over to that spot. I've attacked today. Absolutely attacked. And there's only one spot, really. I guess I was curious as to why the line was moving towards the New York Yankees. I'm interested in Castillo, but I was more interested in Aaron, even though he just got rocked by the Braves on May 25th. Those spots I stayed off of, but I have 10 bets. I'm going hard today. Got to change what's been happening here for me in the last week or so. There is our guy, Justin McElvey. Birthday today, 45 years old. Justin McElvey, stacks play today. Colorado Rockies over 3.5 and +102. Copy and paste that. Colorado Rockies over. Let's get that locked in nice and bright here. It's a Rockies game. There we go. 12:35 p.m. Mr. Lewis making moves right off the hop. Staying on that Cincinnati Reds train that's been so good to so many of you. Put that right below the stacks play of the day. Ron Crawford in the house. The spreadsheet play today is very hot. I'm sure a lot of you have been following it. It's cashed 5 of its last 6. Easy casher again yesterday. Arizona -1. And I knew that was going to be it. I hang out with Spreadsheet for a long time, and I knew that Zach Gallen would be backed by you, and I love it. Mr. Lewis, Rangers money line later. I'm on the White Sox first 3 and first 5. As you can see, got the White Sox hat on. I'm on them first 3 and first 5, and I almost tripled up on them. I almost tripled up on them. I didn't. And maybe it's good because Mr. Lewis is on the full game. Vipe in the house. Troy Torrance ready to get to work. Jay's final take. How easy was the let your nuts hang play today from Jay? That Tigers Royals under 8.5. 1 run scored. 1 lousy run. Billy Friedrich says White Sox going to be the Rangers again today. I'll be on Kopech first 5. I love seeing that, Billy. I moved on the first 3 and first 5. 90% of the cash is on the Rangers, and the market's moved slightly towards the White Sox. To me, books are pretty clearly opening up their arms to Rangers money. And we know Martin Perez is Jekyll and Hyde at home and on the road. So we'll see.
I'd like to put something on your tickler fire, Jimmy.
I don't know what the hell that is.
I'd like to put this in your head.
Okay.
I said yesterday on my program that the Rangers are the most public team in all of baseball, et cetera, et cetera. And I still think they don't make the playoffs, Jimmy. I would just like you to just guess real quick what you think the Rangers to not make the playoffs are.
Ooh, wow. Rangers to not make the playoffs.
Allegedly one of the best teams in baseball.
Plus 280.
Plus 265.
So I knew by the way you were talking that it was lower than what I would have expected.
It's very interesting. Very interesting. Put that in your head.
It is very interesting. The problem is these goddamn Angels messing up this whole division for me. I would love to add something on the Astros right now at the plus money that they're at. And I would love to add some on the Mariners, but I can't do it with these goddamn Angels. By the way, I said at the beginning of the year that June 23rd is when we decide if we want to move on the Toronto Blue Jays. We're 2 days away from it. And the numbers we're going to get are going to be massive. Obviously, we can't take any division bets, but if we want to take AL and World Series, I mean, there's no reason why we should after watching them the first half. But we're 2 days away from that. Andrew G in the set there is top set. Vitalis says, Cease was great yesterday. Tip my cap to him. God, if I had to just... So, this happens to me when I don't, trust myself and try to keep a lower amount of action. Obviously, the lean's all cash. And then the next day I hammer away. And we'll see if it's going to blow up in my face. Nuclear says, good morning, fellas. That's LSU. Easy money last night. Going to ride them again today. Plus 115 versus Wake Forest. Londo, birthday tomorrow. Justin McElvey's birthday day. Rocco Rogers in the house. Billy Friedrich says, check the historical sacks for Sox versus Perez. They're hitting over 400. Kopech has had decent success for Rangers roster too. And tomorrow, Londo's birthday. We will not forget about the birthday pick for you, my friend. All right, there's TNT, Rem Most, Marco Carrasco, Von Polo in the house. All right. Slatsy ready to get to work. Marco Lou, Red Girl. Love seeing that. Slatsy says 12-10 Jays Marlins kickoff. Gausman in 3 appearances. Miami 1-0, 1.04 ERA. Jays first 5 in full game. Good to see Jimmy on the Jays. Yes, I'm right there with you on the Jays. Jay's final take says no play of the day, but he's on Dodgers first 5 plus 160. I watched, and I've been watching Michael Grove really closely. It's just when he gets touched, he gets tagged. And I did move on the Angels first 3 and first 5 minus half in both. We'll see if that blows up. But I can understand why people are going to be on the Yankees and Dodgers today at these prices. Like, I get it. But Dana Delp ready to get to work their serious business. Joey Harp, Jay Smooth, Joe Yurkovich. Says it's Andrew Abbott Day, yet to allow a run. RVD 420, Danny Lopez, Robert Franklin. Lucky Power, Jay Rowe, Wine Time. It's a great group. BJ says fade Sandy. Yes. This actually is not fading Sandy. It wouldn't surprise me if Sandy has a good start here. This is more just thinking that Gausman is the better pitcher on the mound. I like him, Mr. Lewis. And Jay's final take says just bet Jay's Marlins first 5 over 3.5. Rodney Barton took the Reds to make the playoffs on Monday, plus 500 now, plus 330. All right, let's get to work here. We have a big, big day of baseball. We have afternoon baseball just an hour away. Let's bring on your expert here for us, and he's been very good. Average line of plus 111 over 21 bets, which creates situations like what happened to him 2 weeks ago. He went 2-2, but plus 0.83 units because he's finding plus lines. 52.4% plus 2.41 units. So ROI plus 11.48%. I'm the one letting us down here. I'm the one letting us down, and I know it. It's weighing on me. We have Peter Loshak, Ron Crawford, C-Mac, all up double-digit ROIs. And thank God for them. Thank God for them. I need to pick up my goddamn slack. Yes, Andrew G, a huge move over to Bo Levi, with Bo Levi out. Huge move to the Ticats. I couldn't believe it. Huge move. Alouettes wake up and they're plus 2.5. I couldn't believe it. But my totals look good. Unfortunately, I'm on the other side of Slatsy in the total in the Bombers-Lions game. My game script is very different. which makes me nervous. But it did drop a half point since I bet it, which gives me a little bit of confidence. But we'll talk CFL tomorrow for the Thursday Nighter and then Friday with Bobano. Please welcome from Las Vegas, Nevada, Migdam Mac Daddy. What up, Mac? How are you?
I'm good, Jimmy. The chat, shout out. I'm ready to make some money, man. Let's get it today.
Let's get it. We have afternoon action, which means everybody who is listening right now at work has a great day ahead of them. I mean, it's something special when you get to focus on afternoon action and all of a sudden it's 5 p.m. That's how much fun afternoon action is. And we need to get that cash, C-Mac.
Yeah.
Clint says, C-Mac, feed me dingers. Billy Friedrich says, C-Mac, early riser. Okay. And Joe Yergin said, it's been said, if you're struggling, you dial back your action. That's what I did yesterday. And it would have been a glorious winning day if I had just fired away. Still, the San Francisco Giants are absolutely relentless. It cost me a winning day. But today I'm firing away, for better or for worse. We talk about the advantages and disadvantages of credit. Obviously, if I was a bookie, I would offer credit to everybody, and I can understand that it's a dangerous thing to work with. But the 25% in and out every Friday does give me a little bit of leeway. Does give a little bit of leeway. All right, let's go. TJ said Jimmy stood up Miami because of the market the other day. If he would just take the other side on those, his ROI would be through the roof. Yes, I'm trying to do that a little more, TJ. And look, lot of season left. We had a great winning year last year in baseball. I expect the same. And for now, it's okay because you guys are succeeding enormously in the chat. Our guests are succeeding enormously. And obviously it hurts being the one that's not, pulling their weight. But thank God you guys have been excellent, and I will hopefully follow your leads. Let's go, C-Mac. We start at 12:10 p.m. Eastern. Baltimore Orioles 45-27, 23-14 on the road at Tampa Bay Rays 51-25, 31-8 at home. As you guys know, I have the Orioles to win the division. So, obviously it hurt financially yesterday, but it did give me some excitement for the Orioles. Now just 4 games back, and also, the Rays have not been winning much on the road. The Orioles just seem so complete. They're 11-1 to win the division right now. Just 4 games back and 11-1 to win the division, which is a surprising number. To think that the Jays are 12-1 and the Yankees are 12-1, I do not see the Orioles just being slightly favored over them. I see them as a much, much higher chance to get in there. Also, the Guardians now just 1 game back. They're plus 230. Odds I don't fully understand. We got in at plus 380 there for the Guardians. Top set has moved here as well. Top set is on Blue Jays, Braves over 8.5, Cubs, Nats over 9, Mets over 8.5. I'm going to copy and paste that here. But let's get into this spot here. Rays, Orioles, Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. Tyler Wells going up against Taj Bradley. Take a look at the line history here for this one. Still got that White Sox up here. But we're going to start here at Pinnacle with the Rays as favorites. Rays open up at minus 140, and that's where they are right now. They got up to minus 135. They got up to minus 151 at 9:30 a.m. There was a 15-cent move in 45 minutes towards the Orioles. But right now we have no movement on the Rays, but in truth, we have U-shaped movement that our guy Peter Loshak talks about often. So we have U-shaped movement there. Let's take a look at the total here for this one, Wells versus Bradley. This opened up at 8.5 at some offshores. It opened up at 8 at Pinnacle, opened at 8, juiced to the over. This continued to be juiced to the over 12 hours later. And then at 7:49 a.m., this popped up to 8.5. So the reason why that is wildly interesting is it was at 8.5 at 8:21 a.m. It's now at 7.5. So we've had a big move to the under, and this was not a move that we saw from the initial action. So that is a fascinating situation there. Let's take a look at the cash flow here for this first game on the board, Orioles Rays. 70% of the tickets, 90% of the cash on the Rays. this kind of makes me want to move on Tyler Wells, in all honesty. From a total 46% of tickets and 94% of cash on the under, that action must have come in late. It just must have come in late. There's no other way of figuring out exactly why that is. And then let's just talk about Tyler Wells quickly and hand it over to C-Mac. Wells, 3.20 ERA, 0.86 whip. He's been very good this year, but has allowed 16 home runs and 81 2/3. His last start, 6 2/3, 5 hits, 2 earned runs. There were solo shots at home against the Blue Jays. He looked good, 8 Ks, 1 walk. On the road, he's been a little more susceptible, but there's been some bad luck involved. Opponents are only hitting 171 off of him, but 4.26 ERA. He is 2-0. Taj Bradley coming off the 4-3 win at Oakland. Again, didn't look very good. 4 1/3, 3 runs, 2 of which were earned. The Orioles are hitting righties much harder than the Rays right now in June. 267, 775 OPS, Rays 255, 739. It's the Rays bullpen that's back to being absolutely elite. 2.58 ERA in June, whereas the Orioles bullpen struggled a little bit. Take it away for us here, C-Mac. Our first game on the board, Orioles, Rays.
Yeah, Orioles. Both these teams have been great money makers for me all year long. Yesterday, I loved this over, and I didn't bet it. And the Orioles, I didn't look at it. Mike threw some good in the chat. This is something with the Rays here at home from Bradley. His command here. What do we get? Can he get through? He's a guy that's just 4 or 5 innings tops. He did have 11 strikeouts in his last, but those 3 walks, I think that can hurt him. But the Rays, you mentioned after loss, what was it, 16-2? I don't think someone has to double check this for me because they've had a couple, Jimmy, 3-game losing streaks. The Rays, I don't think they've had 4. I don't love that. In the end, I'm off here. I'd have to take the Rays here, first 5 -0.5. I'd like to back Wells. I think this is kind of a bad spot, maybe on the road here, which he's been kind of hit and miss on the road. He has been horrible this year. So this was just a tough game here early that I didn't want anything to do with.
Yeah, I was kind of leaning towards backing Wells here.
Yeah, I mean,
I just feel like against Taj Bradley, but I mean, I don't know how good Bradley is. I guess that's my problem. And if you just focus on the stats from this year, you're probably not getting a fair assessment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We know he's a huge prospect and got all this lore behind him, but I need to see more too. I backed him a few times and he pitched well early. And like I said, that's 4 or 5 innings in and out. Man, I don't really want him here. Tough one. I get why you like both sides here. Just plus money on the Orioles doesn't matter. Even the money, the movement all year has been pretty good. I forget their records. Like as a dog, 23-7 or 8. I mean, they've just been a cash cow with plus money.
Billy Friedrich goes first 5-2. Yeah. I guess we got to let this go. There's LG in the house looking at Hayes, 2+ bases at plus 145, being crushing the ball. Too bad. Bradley has not seen the Orioles yet, so I mean that gives Taj an advantage. But look at the guys that you're worried about in the Rays lineup. Yandy Diaz, 125, but Franco 1 for 2. Lau is 3 for 5. Ramirez 3 for 7. That's tough. Okay.
218. We get an under here. I mean, how much do you not like that? There's 7.5 now.
It's wild. I mean, we're going to talk about that in this Jays Marlins game. You have the total go up to 7.5 and then down to 6.5. I mean, okay. I am off as well. That's too bad. I will be cheering for the Orioles. What do you think, C-Mac, of them being 11-1 to win the AL East?
I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it a lot. And maybe they don't get there, but I think that's a great value bet to take.
So do I. I didn't get 11-1 when I moved on. I got, I think, 6.5 or something. But it's shocking to me at this point, 4 games out, and look at the Orioles. 23-14 on the road. When it comes down to it, can you win consistently on the road? Shows what kind of a baseball team you are, But the Rays being loved here at the books and the futures market. Christopher Comentini says maybe a first 5 under, and Jay's final take is on Baltimore, Tampa Bay first 5 under. Okay, let's move on to the next spot on the board. This was the first trigger I pulled. I've been trying very hard to time Gausman right. I've been trying very hard, and some of the spots where he's been blowing up have been on the weekend when I really try to take a little bit of time off from, just to refresh and kind of regroup, and so that I can come into the week, hungry and wanting action. So I got lucky a couple times this year where he's been lit up, and the last time he got lit up, I wanted to move on him, and I was like, you know what, it just takes so much work capping baseball, and like, do I really want to dive into it? And I didn't think I think Gausman is going to be good every game. That's how much I believe in his splitter. Now you need to keep an eye on the splitter and see the movement and make sure that you're getting the movement. Justin McElvey got the Blue Jays minus 129 last night. Let's talk about this spot because I doubled up. I got them first 5 minus 120 and full game minus 130. I wonder if even now Brandon Belt is back, which means that Horwitz has been sent down. And this Jays team needed that left-handed bat so badly in the offseason, so badly. And so when Brandon Belt caught fire, the Jays offense caught fire with it. So he's back. Now, I don't know after taking 10 days off, but he was so hot when he got hurt, and he's going to be a big addition to the lineup. And it's pretty easy for us to say that the Blue Jays have a better lineup than the Marlins. But in June, the Marlins are hitting 261, 740 against righties, while the Jays are just 248, 719. This is my belief in Gausman not fading Alcantara, even though I don't know what's up with Sandy Alcantara. I can't pinpoint when he's going to be good and when he's going to be bad. I find it a very, very difficult thing to do. Let's pull up the line history here for this one. First off, this total has been absolutely erratic. It opened up at 7, and in the first 4 hours, it was a 10-cent move to the over. Up until a couple hours after that, they move it to 7.5. Not only do they move it to 7.5, but at 3:16 in the morning, this was juiced to the over. So we have an over 7.5, juice to the over, and now we're down to 6.5. That's very difficult to quantify. It's just it's a situation where I usually want to be in line with the early cash, and so when the early cash is, or if the late money is completely opposite the early, then it's confusing. It's confusing for the money line here. This opened up with the Jays at minus 119. They're now at minus 133. I like that. 14 cents of movement towards them. That makes me feel good. Let's go over to the cash flow here for this one. We have on the total 48% of the tickets and 80% of the cash on the under. So obviously, there's an expectation that Sandy's going to pitch well here. 63% of the tickets and 85% of cash on the Jays. That makes me feel good. I like that spot very, very much. Sharpie says something I've learned when betting Gausman K-props. When he goes on normal rest and rest 4 days, and his velocity has been down. Today's on 4, and the books are begging for the over on his K-prop. That makes me nervous. Jake Burns says watch Gausman give up 5 runs or so. So he expects Gausman to have a horrible start. TJ took the opener minus 120 yesterday. He told us to do this. He told us yesterday in the show. Then we have Gausman day, a 1.40 ERA in 8-day starts. And over 6.5 at minus 115 is what they're offering for Gausman case. Wow, that's nervous. Slatsy says getaway day for both teams with pitchers umpire. Does this look like an under to him? Mike M says cash on the Jays, line moving against them. I don't have the line moving against the Jays. And again, we're going to keep discussing these things.
I got it. Yeah, like you just said, it's moved their way a little bit, since last night.
Yeah, I've quite a bit. I mean, here at Pinnacle, 14 cents, like double-digit cents is like something that gives me confidence. Bo Bichette just was scratched. Damn it. I have him in the lineup here, but I guess
Yeah, but is that on Twitter?
it must be. That sucks. Damn it, BJ. Ugh, that sucks. He is so necessary here. Okay, so Gaussman, last start at the Rangers. Rangers were hitting hard, and he shut them down. Only had 4 strikeouts in that start. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, solo shot, 2 walks. On the road, 3.45 ERA, 244 opponents batting average, 55 strikeouts in those 44 in the third, with just 4 home runs allowed. Sandy Alcantara, coming off a 6-5 win at the Nats, it wasn't because of him. He allowed 5 earned runs and 5 in the third. At home, his ERA is better, 4.63 ERA. Opponents hitting 213 against him. Take it away, C-Mac. This is an interesting one. Blue Jays, Marlins.
Yeah, I was just looking at we talked about a little. I was on the under on Monday with you, Jimmy. I was on it yesterday. This movement has been a little bit wild because initially I like the over. I think this drop maybe is because of Bichette being out of the lineup, and these pitchers, they think they're going to pitch well with Sandy. I mean, he was a regular guy. I took him in his under the last 2 years, with crazy success. I just think something's wrong with his arm, and I could be wrong. I mean, he's had a couple situations where he's had bicep soreness, stuff like that. And he's had a couple starts throughout the year where he's shown the flashes, but he's been hit hard lately. Strikeouts just aren't there. What Gaussman do we get? I want it too. Nastiest splitter in the game, period. And when he's rolling, he gets on here. I can't take the Jays, though, at this price, and I'm going to stay off the total. I want to talk to you real quick about what do you think of Vladdy? His average is down. I wanted to take his prop today.
There are real issues with his.
Yeah, I read up on it.
His launch angle. That's what.
Yeah,
that was the whole. I listened to a radio show 2 days ago about his. That's the biggest discrepancy from last year. His launch angles changed to the point where it's a issue.
Yeah, and 1 RBI in the last 7 games. He hasn't had a jack since June 4th. He's got to turn around. He is 5 for 7 here off Sandy. If you like the Jays, I think he's a guy in the lineup that's got to get it done. So I was looking at his props. I don't know if I pulled the trigger here though.
Yeah, I don't. If that's a tough thing. Do you trust what he's done against Sandy or what we're seeing from him lately? There was real concern from, at least they were claiming that was real concern from the Jays brass about what's happened to that launch angle, forearm.
Yeah. I've heard mixed stuff that he's some people are believing it, that he's going to wake up. From what I read, I was looking up.
Yeah. Springer, Merrifield, Belt, Merrifield is the second hottest hitter in Major League Baseball behind Luis Arraez. What he's doing is unbelievably important to the team right now. He's hitting at an extremely impressive rate. I don't know what Belt's going to do after the 10 days off. Tenacious D says, where is Bo scratched? I can't find it. Everything I see has him starting. Yeah, it must have just been announced on Twitter, Tenacious D's. It's tough. Piker says, Market says Sandy's going to pitch well, which I've been waiting for. It doesn't make me anxious to lay a number on the road with anyone. Yeah. Billy Friedrich says, is Alcantara a pitch clock casualty? He's about mid-range and pace of pitches for starters. It's very possible. But also, yeah, it's look, I tried to figure out how to bet this appropriately. I was surprised that it went from 7 to 7.5. At that point, I was like, okay, well, there's, if that had been the case, I would have been able to probably take the -0.5 or the -1 to get a little bit better juice. But now I'm happy I didn't. The first 3 is something I did want, but I couldn't take a -0.5 there. Was -135. It still is. The full game, -130 in the first 5, -120. I doubled up on Gaussman. I just think that if I bet Kevin Gaussman every single start from here on in, I will have a positive ROI. And the only pitcher who I think deserves it more than Gaussman is Yuri Perez.
Perez has been money.
Good God, is he good? Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah, Bichette. Yeah, he's out here. Just left thumb. Just come for. Someone put Arise. How can you not? Even his 1.5 bases. As long as you get even money or more, he's 5 for 6 off Gausman with the double. Take that how you want.
Arise is just absolutely phenomenal. Like there's just I love watching him bat. It's really nice to hear, the greatest hitters of our lifetime. Tony Gwynn in conversations with someone batting right now. It's just refreshing.
Yep.
Morgan Spooner says Marlins first 5 plus a half. This seems like a layup. I just have strict rules about that stuff. But you're the Marlins first 5 plus a half minus 145. I just would never want. I never want to turn a dog, into a big favorite ever. But I hear you. Okay, Joe Yerger says I'm getting plus 123 on Sandy at home off a loss with a better bullpen. Yeah, that's completely fair.
Listen, and Marlins 10 games over 500. The Jays are 5. And just Sandy. What are you going to get? You're going to get the Mamu ace from the past, or what he's been this year.
Exactly. Okay, let's roll on. Next up for us, on his 45th birthday, our guy Justin McElvey is giving us the Colorado Rockies team total over 3.5 at plus 102. C-Mac, we need to give our guy Justin McElvey a birthday pick each throughout this show. And shout out to our guy Justin McElvey. And then Mr. Lewis is on the Reds -1 on the first half at plus 100. Seabold versus Abbott. It's funny how the psychology, which I love talking about in these pitchers and situations and in sports, even though it may not carry much weight. It may be a waste of time, really. But Seabold going up against Boston, who let him go. We were all on Seabold. He loaded the bases in the first with none out, got out of it, and was awesome afterwards. Then he goes to Atlanta, very tough, place to play. It's not like Fenway Park is easy. But then he goes to Atlanta and gets lit up and smoked. 3 innings, 9 earned runs, 4 home runs. It's so wild the difference 5 days makes. On the road this year, he's been, hurt badly, except for that Red Sox start. 6.9.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Is he starting?
I thought he was starting.
Siebel? I think.
Is that not the
I
case?
got multiple saying different shit here.
You're right, because now they have Carl Kaufman as a primary. Wow. Okay, thank you for interrupting me. That was a waste of time. Seabold out, says Joey Harb. Okay, thank you. Sorry about that. Thank you for stopping me. Andrew Abbott on the other side has been spectacular. 17 2/3, hasn't allowed a run. It's just unbelievable. It's fun when we get to talk about some of these young pitchers and what they're doing. Spencer Strider, just him and Doc Gooden in the stat I read last night about strikeouts. I forget in how many innings it was, but Andrew Abbott not allowing a run in his first 17 2/3. He's a big part of this winning streak for them. Coming off that 2-1 win at Houston. That one was so aggravating. I had the Reds first 3 and first 5 and it was push. It hurt. Rockies versus righties 248, 718. Reds versus righties 258, 775. Rockies bullpen in June 4.78 ERA. Reds bullpen's been very good, 3.36 ERA. And Joe Yurkovich is off the Marlins here. Off the Marlins, says line is moving. Didn't get the price that he wanted. Brian Dan says Reds run line is killing it. And Robert Franklin sees Jake Bird, and so does Joey Harb sees Jake Bird. I'll pull that up, but let's take a look at the line history. It won't give us a proper, it's Bird here, but Kaufman is the primary, and we've capped Kaufman. So I'll touch on Bird and Kaufman here, but let's just talk about this total. Opening up at 9, a move to 9.5. Yesterday's total seemed like a gift, and I couldn't understand how it had moved to the under, for the first 12 hours of it being around and kept me off, but it was a gift. This one's gone from 9 to 9.5, and right now, this time of year, the weather is just absolutely perfect at Great American Ballpark. 77 Fahrenheit, 8.2 miles per hour in, gets up to 9.5 miles per hour in. That's still a plus 23% home run rate, plus 8 doubles and triples, plus 4 singles, and plus 16% runs. Far and away the most offensive ballpark here that's available. Let's take a look at the so we did the total moving from 9 to 9.5. Sorry, let's just get over to the money line here for this one. On this money line, we have still a big move to the Rockies, a huge move, 37 cents since the opening line, and this opening line was 8:19 a.m. So you have 37 cents of movement to the Rockies, in 3 hours. That's wild and hard to figure out. And then when we pull up the cash here for this one, we have 74% of the tickets on the Reds and 6% of the cash. So some big bets obviously coming in on the Colorado Rockies, 26 and 94. And then you have 85% of the tickets and 99% of cash on the over. I moved on one spot that had 99%. I hope it's not at 99% right now. But here's a 99% spot on the over. And, Nutflush has been asking us to track these spots with 90 and 95%, and they're not very successful, the negative ROI. Take it away for us here, CMAC. A very interesting market moves, Rockies, Reds.
I think we kind of got to throw it out a little bit with Siebel being out. I mean, this is a guy in Kaufman that shouldn't be in there right now. And if he's going to go multiple innings here, I like the Reds as well here. I've been on them every day. I wasn't on them the last two. They were big favorites. They are here. It's either they're 2.5 here, first 5. And it might even be more now, the 3.5 at plus money. And what'd you say you could get the -1 at?
Let's see. And look at that from Troy Torrance's database, which is building 90% of money on the over, 90 plus on the over. The under is 23 and 21 since May 1st. Let's see let's pull up Penny and see what we could get you on the Reds -1. I imagine that they'll have the best line. So here we go for the Cincinnati Reds -194 and plus 104. I'll see if we can beat that, but I just want to start there. -194 and plus 104 is expensive. It's -144 on the -1. Oh, let's see what they're offering. And they're offering -145. So, yeah, that's expensive. Is it worth it?
That's a little high here.
Yeah, Gary Malone. He's just going to be an opener. Kaufman is the primary, and he's another young pitcher. It's kind of tricky figuring out the Colorado pitchers because it's a tough place to pitch in, and so is Albuquerque. Their AAA team. So in Albuquerque, he threw 52 and 2/3. He only got 38 strikeouts. He allowed 43 earned runs. I mean, we're talking a 7.35 ERA and a 1.71 WHIP. Then here in the majors, he's throwing 12 and 2/3, and he's allowed 16 earned runs. I mean, this is a second-round draft pick out of Michigan, University of Michigan. But this is just, I guess I just stay away from it. But this does seem like a slam dunk spot. It's just things don't usually work like that. And with these huge bets on the Rockies, there's some people who don't believe in that. So, did you want me to look at the team total for you, C-Mac?
No, I'll look it up. Yeah, I was looking at the Rockies a little bit with Seabold, but now with this, Reds are nothing. Rockies still can't hit lefties. Yeah, I'm off for now.
Okay, well, let's move on here. Let's move past this spot. Interesting. Abbott is rolling here. Mike M is going to go full game and split between the +1.5 and the money line for the Colorado Rockies. A unit apiece. Okay, let's roll on. So we are off that, but Stacks play today's Rockies team total over 3.5 from Justin McAfee on his 45th birthday. And then Top Set took Rockies first 5 team total over 1.5. Let's move on. Next up for us, 12:35 p.m. Eastern. So this scared me. I bet very early the under, and I doubled up on it in Cubs Pirates. Part of it is that I just really like these two pitchers. And part of it was fan based, but I did see the situation. What are the Cubs doing against lefties? 223, 702 OPS. You have Rich Hill at home, where he hasn't been great this year, but a lot of the times he got touched up was earlier in the year. Then the Pirates versus righties since June 1st, 223, 637 OPS. Obviously, I would need to worry about the Pirates bullpen, but the Cubs just aren't hitting. And I was like, okay, so let's do this. I expect this to move to the under, and it doesn't. It did not move to the under. And this morning at 7 or whatever it is, I was beating myself up. But sure enough, I just had to wait longer. Oh my God, look at this. This is crazy. This total was at 8 this morning at about 8:30, and I was like, oh, thank God. I was like, I'm right. It's at 9 now. Look at the fluctuations. That's crazy. Now looks like I'm in big trouble. Oh, fuck, man. I did not expect to see that. I did not expect to see that.
Yeah, run some of this money here again.
Sure. But I thought that I when it moved to 8, I was like, oh, I'm right. Pittsburgh's gone from -104 to +107. So there's been a big move to the Cubs. This total, another fluctuating total. Let's see the cash flow here for this one. And this was always the case. So there were always the big bets were already on the over. But the market, I thought, was moving towards the under, and I thought they were opening up their arms to over money. And obviously, that's not the case with it moving to 9. 42% of the tickets, 81% of the cash on the over. And I thought that, and there's a couple spots today on the card that I've gone against these numbers, thinking that they're opening their arms to this money. From the cash flow, 73% of the tickets, 76% of cash on the Cubs, and the market moving towards the Cubs. Neither Hendricks or Hill are coming off great starts. I mean, Hendricks coming off a 10-3 win at home versus the Orioles. He went 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 3.18 ERA, 1.06 WHIP. He's only thrown 28 in the third this year. He was hurt to start the year. He's allowed 1 home run in 28 in third. Rich Hill allowed 3 earned runs, 4 runs total in that 5-4 win at the Brewers. He didn't look very good, but I feel like this is no case start or opportunity for him against Cubs who just aren't hitting lefties. Take it away for us, C-Mac. Cubbies, Pirates.
Yeah, I mean, everything for me, too. I was looking at this under with you here. I think it's spot. One thing is with Hendricks, I think he might be due to get hit. It's just this Pirate team, like everyone's putting in the chat, is horrible. Where they lost 8 in a row. And man, Monday night was horrible. Back-to-back games, they get shut out. They had so many guys on, too. I forget who was the starter, Smiley. I think he had 5 or 6 walks. They only had 5 or 6 hits, but man, it was ugly. Couldn't get a run across there. It's tough to take them now. The Cubs are, playing better baseball after they hit the shits a little over a month ago. But I really don't want them either. I'm off, but I lean your under. So this move is I don't really get here. Weather looks good. Everything.
Sorry, I forgot to mention that. It's this is what I thought was a perfect opportunity with the weather in my favor. So it's 10.2 miles per hour in, gets up to 11.3 miles per hour. We already know it's a pitcher's ballpark. And then when you go over to the ballpark palette, minus 20% in home runs and minus 5% in runs.
Yep.
Troy Torrance says Pirates have 8 runs in their past 6 games. TJ says since the 9th of June, Pittsburgh's averaging 2 runs per game. In 3 of the last 4, they've been shut out. Wow. Well, I thought legitimately thought I was going to be like bragging, basically. I thought that it had moved to 8. Well, I know it moved to 8. I did not think I was going to see a 9 win it.
This lineup is just, Hayes is so hit and miss. He has decent numbers here. I jotted down 6 for 12 with a couple homers off Hendricks, but Zawinski, he's got a little jack. That's about it. But this lineup, Connor Joe in the 4 hole.
Yeah, man, and that's what Norman Ross is saying. No Kutch and no Reynolds again. That's an ugly
Yeah,
lineup.
no rounds. Yeah.
That's an ugly lineup. Okay. Mickey Cohen got in when it got down to 8. What perfect timing, Mickey. Jay's final takes on the over 8.5. And he's not the only one. I saw Robert Franklin also on the over 8.5. Professor Chris says model is the Cubs money line minus 127.29 and the run line at plus 119.71. He bet both minus 112 and plus 150. Says he would not bet the Cubs at minus 120, though. Not a big enough discrepancy for him. Topset says Rich Hill is downhill from here. Jump on the fade train.
Hey, Hendricks is good. I thought Hendricks was 37. He's only 33.
I know. He's one of those guys who you think is older. Yeah. It's just the way he's pitched. Look at him throw out there. I mean, it's just and the gift is in. And it is the Cubbies. Why don't I see it here it didn't come up here in our YouTube chat, but it's right there. So Cubbies money line minus 106. Wow. The gift is in. So money line minus 106 for TJ Gift. Wow. All right. Okay. Let's keep rolling. So it's a double up spot for me. I got the under 4.5 and minus 105 and the under 8. I forget what I got the 8 at. I'd just like to see what it is right now. If it's 9 here.
Oh, you got 8?
8.5.
Yeah, 8.5. Okay.
8.5. Yeah. 8.5 and 4.5. Look, the first 5 has not changed. It's still 4.5, but the full game's at 9. Oh God. All right. Thank you for sending it again, TJ. Yeah, I did. It didn't show up here for whatever reason. Professor Chris says guys are out of the lineup for the Cubs. Both lineups look really weak.
They do.
Okay. All right, let's roll on. So next up for us, 1:10 p.m., Kansas City Royals at Detroit Tigers. This is a tough one. This is where my Friday just threw me into a rage. I backed Brady Singer with confidence. First 3, first 5. He allowed 1 run in those 5 innings. Thank God I had the first 5 under as well. They were down 1-0 after 5, so I lost money on it, and that really, really angered me. Believing in Abbott against the Astros and believing in Singer, and then having them both pitch as well as I could have ever dreamed, and coming out 1-2 after making 5 bets was just like as aggravating as possible. Mike M says it's your guy, Jimmy. It's Matty Boyd Day. It's Brady Singer is my guy as well. I really think that he made us so much money last year. Obviously, I have a bias about that, and his numbers are atrocious this year, and he's much better than that. And he showed us against the Angels. But 6.33 ERA, 1.61 WHIP. You're always going to get nice numbers when you want to bet him. He's been horrific on the road. Awful. 7.2 ERA. I mean, but 25 innings is a small sample size. They're hitting 307 against them. 21 strikeouts and 8 walks. Matthew Boyd coming off an 8-4 win at the Twins. He allowed 4 earned runs in 6 innings. He's been horrific at home. 8.46 ERA, 301 opponents batting average. Again, we're just talking 27 2/3, but 20 strikeouts and 17 walks. The Royals are not hitting lefties, 231, 628 OPS since June 1st, and Tigers aren't hitting righties, 224, 671. Royals bullpen's been bad. Tigers bullpen's been really good. Viper saying he's on the same action as Stimmy. Stimmy's on the Tigers' first 5 in full game and the over 8.5. Mike M says KC closing a series out on the road back to the start of last season, 8-29 straight up, 15-22 on the run line, and 14-22 to the under. Wow. Bankroll Spence says Royals can't hit. Team drives me nuts. Vipers on the first 5 in full game over. Gerardo Hernandez on the Tigers money line. Troy says he sees an over spot. Fits the SIP profile of Ranger Sox yesterday. All right. Well, let's pull up the situation. First, let's pull up the weather. 82 Fahrenheit, 8.1 miles per hour left to right and slightly in. Gets up to 9.2. Ballpark Pal. Let's see what they think of Comerica. Minus 21% in home runs and minus 5% in runs over there. So let's take a look at the line history here for this one. We'll start with the money line. And we have the Royals opening up at plus 110. They're now plus 123. So the Tigers have gone from minus 119 to minus 133. 14 cents of movement on the Tigers. And then the total here with this spot, Singer and Boyd. This total opened at some offshores at 9. It opened at Pinnacle at 9, and it lasted there for 5 minutes before it went to 8.5. 8.5. It got back up to 9 at 10:40 this morning. It lasted there for 1 minute before it's back at 8.5. So we have a move to the under. And we have top sets breakdown. Top sets breakdown here. I don't know why some of these are not showing up on both chats. He said he did not cap this game. Had to take a shit. That's from Top Set. So let's pull up the cash flow here, because already you guys know. Well, first off, I like bum fights. 86% of tickets, 92% cash on the Tigers. Look, I'm not going to mess with that. And then 43% of tickets, 71% of cash on the under. I think this is a sharp move towards the under. There's our guy, Tone Miggins. He got in on the Giants live a couple times last night at huge prices. Shout out Tone Miggins. Tone Miggins, levels play today. Yankees first 5, money line plus 134. Yankees money line plus 146. Phillies run line first 5, minus a half. I came so close to betting. I can't wait to talk about that game. But let's talk about this spot here. I'll copy and paste your action there, Tone. Look, I kind of like the under in this spot here. I'm not going to lie to you, but let's hear what you have to say, C-Mac. Take it away, Royals, Tiger.
He only caps the Dolphins. I see a lot of over chat here, in the chat for the over. I see the move to the under here, like you just talked about, Jimmy. It's just, can I trust these pitchers? Singer has been good, in his career against these Tigers. The big is what we get from Boyd. I haven't been able to trust him really all year. A guy I used a little bit last year, but the Royals don't hit lefties like you talked about. 91 at bats. They're hit 209 off him. Perez is the only guy who's got a couple homers, but he's 11 for 46. Man, if I had a little more trust here, I like the under in this one.
I agree, and my voice just broke. That's how much I agree. I got a little giddy. The first three's at 2.5. Juice to the over. If they score 3 runs in the first 3 innings, you're not cashing the first 5 under. I think that goes under. I think it's the first 3 under 2.5. I do. Wow, and Ron Crawford has Royals on the spread, not spreadsheet play today, but on the spreadsheet. Oh, that's sad, Brian Watson. I'm sorry to hear that. Chris Haggins, sorry to hear that. Rest in peace, man. That sucks. That's tough sport these guys play, man. Look, I want to mess with this. I get a sick thrill of, when I see these pitchers that we assume are absolute trash, and I see sharp action on them on the under. I want to join them. But look at that. Razor sharp picks, Detroit and the over. Okay, I don't know if I get there, but I'm going to just first 3 under 2.5 here with question marks. I'm certainly not going to double up, and I would prefer this first 3 under 2.5. Let's roll on. Next up for us, 2:10 p.m. Eastern, Arizona Diamondbacks, Milwaukee Brewers, and TJ says yes, Detroit -1 is on his card. Arizona Diamondbacks, Milwaukee Brewers. We come to the spreadsheet play of the day from our Ron Crawford. A shout out to our Ron Crawford. Spreadsheet play day is very hot right now. It's cashed 5 of its last 6, 23-18, 56.1%, plus 5.12 units, ROI plus 12.46%, average line -102. Shout out to Ron Crawford. All right, let's roll on here. And it's in that front pocket. Okay, let's go. Sorry, move over here. Diamondbacks, Brewers, American Family Field, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Zach Gallen going up against Julio Teheran. Teheran just keeps rolling. I mean, it's unbelievable that this guy would have been out of baseball for so long. If you try to pick the spot where he becomes Julio Teheran again, you might have to wait a lot longer. Rob Free, Diamondbacks first 5 money line. Nate Dogg on Arizona money line, and Gallen over strikeouts. Rocco Rogers is on Diamondbacks -140. It's hard for me to wrap my head around the split. So, whether or not, how much emphasis should you put on these splits? I mean, everybody has a different answer to that.
Yeah.
But I'm fading Martin Perez because he's been horrible on the road. If I wanted to do that here, I would fade Zach Gallen because he's been really bad on the road. A 290 opponent's batting average on the road, 5.79 ERA. He's walked 12 batters and 37 in the third. I don't know how much faith I put into it. I think that market size is probably a little too small. Londo liking the Brewers money line in the under. Piker liking Milwaukee. There's our guy Arthur Meade Jr. in the house. Remos, yes. Ron Crawford's plays on Arizona -1 and -103. Piker says Milwaukee looked sharp for him here. Took the first 5 in full as a split bet. Teheran has been great. Gallen is questionable away. Jarek White's doubling up on Arizona first 5 in full game. So let's pull up the line history here for this one. We'll start with this total that's been all over the place here. This opened up at 8, lasted for 16 hours before it moved to 8.5. Now it's at 9. So we have late movement here on this over in a lot. I mean, now we're up a full run from the opening line. Let's take a look at the money line here with Teheran versus Gallen. We have a Teheran opening up at plus 124, now plus 131. So we have 8 cents of movement towards Arizona. 8 cents towards Arizona and a big move to the over. We'll pull up the cash flow here for this one, Arizona, Milwaukee. 56% of tickets, 61% of the cash on the under, and now we've gone up a full run from the opening line. Then you have 64% of the tickets on the Diamondbacks, but just 43% of the cash. So, yeah, it looks like there's some sharp action on Milwaukee. 36% of the tickets, 57% of the cash. The Diamondbacks versus righties and the Brewers versus righties, that's the biggest issue here. The Diamondbacks since June 1st, 276, 831. The Brewers, 217, 646. If you wanted a spot for Zach Gallen to get right on the road, you would think that this is it. The Brewers bullpen's been better than the Diamondbacks bullpen since June 1st, but there's not much else you can say has been better than the Diamondbacks. Take it away for us here, C-Mac, Diamondbacks, Brewers.
Yeah, this totals moves, like you mentioned, up, and there's 9s now. What Gallen do we get? He pitched well at Philadelphia. They came back and he gets hit hard against Detroit. They're talking about his velocity being down. Then he pitched well at home against Cleveland. I had him. I had the under too in that game. I don't really love this start for him. It's not really that I'm rushing to back the Brewers. They had a big 6-7 inning last night and got a bunch of runs. This one's tough for me. In the end, I want Gallen. I don't want this price with him. What are we going to get on the road? I'm not so sure. And Teheran, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what exactly. I'm just like, shit.
The last thing I want to do is show up to the Teheran party at fucking midnight,
Yeah, exactly. Oh, shit.
Yeah, so I like. Look, I get it. I get why the spreadsheet is on Arizona and Zach Gallen. I get it. And anybody who likes Arizona can have confidence knowing that spreadsheet's with you. Cash 5 of his last 6 here on the show. Big shout out to Arthur Meade Jr. What a guy. What a friend of the show. Says, thank you, Pop Sports, for great content. Making wagering fun again. Says, CMAC, NCAA win totals. NC State over 6. NC State over 6. And there's been a lot of people excited about CMAC's show with Bobano. Hitting the books. So a lot of people excited about that. Wine Time Sports is on the over 9, as Stimmy's on the over 8.5 big. And you got it like that. And there's our guy Jedi for life in the house. Curtis Perry says over is probably the look, especially considering Milwaukee's bullpen. Milwaukee's bullpen's been better than Diamondback's bullpen since June 1st.
Yep.
Joe Yurkovich, Brewers first 5+1/2. So Corino says he's an Arizona guy. Says was sketched out about Gallen road start, but this is their best lineup with the exception of Pavin. All right, I'm gonna have to. Oh shit! Okay, sorry, Jose's Wi-Fi dropped out, so let me just get this ready. Go for our next spot. Ron Crawford spreadsheet play today on Arizona. Nothing for me. Let's move on to Mets Astros. And look, I have an issue with spots. I wanted the Astros yesterday and was afraid to bet it. And, of course, it was right. And I often go right back to the well when I miss a spot. But for me, this is a fade of Tyler Megal on the road where he's been absolutely atrocious. And Mego got me right in the drink in his last start at home. But I said on this bet that I was making that it didn't all correlate because Mego had been so good at home. Why wouldn't he bounce back here at home where he's been so good? Now we have him here on the road where he's been atrocious. I mean, we're talking 30 1/3, so a small sample size. 26 Ks, 18 walks, 6 home runs allowed. Opponents batting .341 against him. I mean, we got Tony Gwynn. Every batter's Tony Gwynn, and he's got a 7.42 ERA. So this is a fade of Mego on the road, and I just needed a sign. So I was waiting with Gaussman and with Javier. I was waiting for a sign from the books. I was refreshing them every hour. I was like, show me a 5-cent move, and I will make this bet immediately. And I got the 5-cent move on both spots, and I moved on it. So let's see what it is now here. And I doubled up here. And I doubled up first 3 and first 5. And, I got the first 3 minus a half at plus 110. I got the first 5 minus a half at minus 120. And Pinnacle was hanging a minus 104 on the first 5 minus a half. It was 16. That was nice. I was just sitting there going, am I going to be this fucking schmuck who takes a 16-cent worst line? Oh, God. So here we go. This line opened up with Houston minus 145. Now they're minus 137. So at 9:21 a.m., they were minus 154, and I was sitting here going, well, I'm right. At 8:59 p.m., there was a 5-cent move to the Astros, so I pulled the trigger. 12 hours after that, 4 more cents of movement, and then this big move to the Mets. So we have a big move now. Well, a 7-cent move to the Mets. The market is all over the place today, man, and really
it's crazy,
bringing a ton of fear to me. This total opened up at 8.5 with even money to the under. That's exactly what it is right now. So let's pull up the cash flow here for Astros Mets, and we have 87% of the tickets, 88% cash on the Astros, and this big move to the Mets. I mean, it just means I'm probably going to lose. From a total perspective, 48% of tickets, 63% cash on the over, and we've not moved 1 cent. Piker says he's kept the Astros north of 200 today. McGill's bad away, and Javier arguably Houston's best starter. He laid it late last night also. Topset says Astros spot in the over. Rocco Rogers says no Jose Abreu. I mean, obviously without Jordan, maybe you want Abreu in the lineup, but Mike M says Houston and Javier starts 21-8 straight up back 25-2 this season. So this is extremely frustrating, man. Take it away, C-Mac. Mets Astros.
Well, I'm going to join you, Jim. Then we'll both go down in flames. At least the first 5. Give me the best number minus half. I've been doing it with Miguel as well. Last start, I didn't back him, but I took the under. I thought he pitched well at home. There was some runs early, but I think it was 5-1. That total was 9 on Friday when they played St. Louis, and he pitched well. Back on the road, he just hasn't been it. And I'll take Javier here at home, 7-1 all day. So I know the Astros, the bats have been a struggle at times throughout the year, but I want him here.
Yeah, look at 34 strikeouts and 6 walks in 39 2/3 for Javier, 2.27 ERA, 240 opponents batting average. Neither bats are the Astros bats have been silent night, but 236, 97 OPS. Mets first righties, 226, 695 OPS. Man. I have a good friend that I grew up in stand-up comedy with, and we called him Silent Night. That was his nickname because whenever he took girls to the bedroom, we didn't hear anything. Just nothing. And he hated that nickname so much. Like he would physically want to harm us because we called him Silent Night. Let's line shop for you. So I can get a -1. What was it? Sorry. I can get a minus. Oh, that's not a legit book. So -110 at BetCris. But I think Pinnacle is going to give us a better line here. Let's just find out here. Let's go move over. We're at Pinnacle on their site. They're not showing me that first 5. Here we go. So, well, this gives me confidence. And, I like that you've joined here. Pinnacle was always hanging a really nice price for the Astros -0.5. And it is -105.
I'll take it.
15 cents better than mine. So, all right. Astros first 5 minus a half at minus 105, and CMAC is on the board. Drip Skylark says Stros tasted victory yesterday. He's expecting them to start rolling. I like it. And okay, it looks like we're not gonna have Jose now as Wi-Fi is down. So there's our guy UPK Ayash Yala. No, it was not Dubious, not Sun Dubious. No, he does well. He does well. Okay, let's roll on to the next spot on the board. So CMAC and I are both on the Astros first 5 minus a half. He got a way better line than me. And then I'm also on the first 3 minus a half at plus 110. So I need action early. Cole Girino says, I always check to make sure home road splits aren't inflated from a couple of games. Miggle's only good start away was with the Nats. Never pitched past 5. I like it. Codrino's on board as well. Troy Torrance says, see, the overall market today makes me want to stop posting from the database. If the books get better at hiding the side they like, I'm fucked. Interesting, Troy. Very, very interesting. Yeah. We'll have to see how we do on these lines, or the markets move against us. I mean, the first one is that Pirates Cubs under will be very telling. All right. So this is all after.
That is telling.
Yeah.
That's what I'd be on, is the under there. But,
well, if I hadn't have bet it, I wouldn't have bet it after seeing it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have taken the other side, but I wouldn't have. I would stay off of that spot. But what an afternoon we have. So we still have a 4 p.m. game, but let's talk about all these afternoon games because we have a ton of them here. First off, Orioles Rays was a stay off spot. I doubled up on the Jays first 5 in full game with Gaussman. Justin McElvey stacks play today's Rockies, a team total over 3.5. Mr. Lewis on the Reds -1, first half of +1 or first 5 plus 100. The gift from TJ's the Cubs money line at -106. I doubled up first 5 under and full game under. I'm interested in this first 3 under 2.5. Kansas City Detroit. I have an hour and a minute to make that bet. Then Ron Crawford spreadsheet play today. Arizona -1 and -103, and CMAC is on the Astros first 5 minus a half. Okay, let's roll on here. Next up for us, the 405 spot, St. Louis Cardinals 31-43, 18-22 on the road at the Washington Nationals, 27-45, 12-26 at home. We're at Nationals Park in Washington, D.C. Miles Michaelis going up against Trevor Williams. Michaelis really hurt me in that last start at the Mets that CMAC was alluding to. It was very bothersome. Let's take a look at the line history here. Sorry, I'm on first 5, so let's go to full game here. In this one, we'll start with the total. This total opened up at 9.5 at some offshores. It didn't open up at 9.5 at Pinnacle. They opened it up at 5:02 p.m. yesterday at 9, slightly juiced to the under. And there's been a 4-cent move to that under. Take a look at the money line for the full game here. And we have Michaelis and the Cards opening up at minus. Sorry, taking a second here. I don't know why it's taking a second. I'll let that take its time here. Cash-wise here for Nats Cards, you have 53% of tickets, 40% of cash on the over, so slightly sharper action on the under. And you have big bets all over the Nationals. 21% of the tickets, 85% of the cash. And for whatever reason, this is not coming up. I just refreshed the money line. While that is hopefully there it is. Okay, so the Nats open up at plus 148. They're now plus 140. They got down to plus 137. So we have a move to the Nationals, 8 cents of movement, and a move, 4 cents of movement to the under. So very small there. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this. Oh, we just did that. Sorry, my bad. All right, so we have sharp action on the Nats and Trevor Williams. At home, he's been pretty much the exact same as he's been on the road. Very little difference. Has allowed 7 home runs in 33 1/3, 4.59 ERA, 23 strikeouts, 14 walks, 248 opponents batting average. And the Cards are hitting righties since June 1st, 253, 803 OPS. The Nats are hitting 269 versus righties since June 1st. And I've never written a 6 OPS with a batting average that high ever
Yeah.
in my life. So they have no power against righties. 269, 699 OPS there. Michaelis on the road. He's been good. I don't know what happened at the Mets there. He's been good enough. 278 opponents batting average, not great, but 3.80 ERA, 28 strikeouts in 45 innings. Not getting the Ks when he needs them, and both bullpens have been atrocious. Cards bullpen since June 1st, 5.26 ERA. Nats bullpen, 5.82 ERA. Piker says under looked sharp here. 18-mile-per-hour winds blowing in. I didn't realize it was that big. So here we have. I have 11.
A lot of wind in.
Yeah, I only have 11.4 miles per hour here. Let me refresh. And I did refresh this before the show started, and it's gone down even more. So now it's 9.3 mile per hour in. Just refreshed. Gets up to 10.7 though. And ballpark pal, see what they give the Nats. Nationals Park, a -8% home runs, but plus 2% runs. So it's not as bad as it looks. Londo's on the first 5 over 4.5. Mickey took a shot with Washington first 5 in full game. Take it away for us here, C-Mac, Cardinals, Nationals.
Yeah, there's the tricky here. It's going under. I mean, wind's blowing in. I think Michaelis, after 2 bad starts, we talked about the last one on the road, but he gave up 5 and he gave up 6. I think he pitches better. Both of these pitchers, though, with these teams have gotten hit. Williams a little bit more, 290 off him. Michaelis 49 at bats. That's at 327 off him. But the Nats here are my lean. I don't know if I get here. I kind of like the under too, but in the end, I'm going to stay off with that going on. Yeah, I don't know if I get here with the Nats, Jimmy.
I would like to, if the market wasn't the way it is, I would like to expect Michaelis to bounce back here. I'm not going to.
What Williams do we get? He's been all right for me at times when I've took. I mean, he's the class. I say like a 4.5 ERA guy. At times he give you 4 or 5 innings, and he can get hit hard. So toughy.
Dave Redling says Cardinals starting to barrel. Look for them to go on a run. Today's game isn't over. And Nate Dogg talking about Brandon Belt back from the IL. He's going to help a lot there. Well, DJ says, what are they saying? Odds of postponement are being very wet all morning. Let's just see. Here.
Yeah, I saw that.
We have 7. Yeah, it says, isn't that wild? RotoWire, which I stopped looking at here, says 18 mile per hour winds. And where other sites say 9. But let's take a look at the Washington, D.C. weather here. See if there's it looks very rainy here. Light rain. Yeah, I don't know.
Rain at game time too.
Yeah,
they're gonna push it back. Yeah.
I don't expect this to go, but at least we did our due diligence. All right, let's move on. More night action. This one is where I really want to hear your thoughts, C-Mac. Aaron Nola is a tricky pitcher to trust, but there's time when he's on, he's just so on. And I guess I just, with Smith Shawver, I just don't, when I have the eye test with him, I'm like, I don't really see it. But he's 20 years old and he's in the majors, and I should just let go of whatever I'm thinking about him. 2.03 ERA, 0.98 whip. He's been very, very good. His last start was decent. 5 2/3, 3 runs, 2 homers, 6 Ks, 1 walk, an 8-3 win at home versus the Rockies. And the Rockies are hitting righties. But Aaron Nola just faced the Braves on May 25th. 6 innings, 8 hits, 5 earned runs, 7 Ks, 2 walks, 3 homers. He looked terrible. And he didn't look very good at Arizona last start. And yes, he's been better at home than he's been on the road. 44 strikeouts in 39 innings with a 3.92 ERA, 214 opponent's batting average. The Braves are destroying righties right now. 317, 937 OPS. The Phillies are hitting righties so hard as well. 281, 787 OPS. This is all since June 1st. Braves bullpen's been elite since June 1st. Phillies bullpen's struggling once more. So I would like to back Nola here, but I have enough action. I do not need to force anything, and I was waiting to see a legit sign. So I thought I was getting the sign and we'll go over this, but I thought I was getting a T-Mac because 90+% of money was on the Braves, and the market was moving towards the Phillies. And that was going to be enough for me, and maybe it still will. I just wanted to talk it out before I bet it. 65 Fahrenheit, 10.5 miles per hour in. The guy dies down to 10 miles per hour. Ballpark Pal here at Citizens Bank has -7% home runs and -4% runs. Jarek White looking at Philadelphia. And Troy Torrance says if the Braves weren't so hot, he would be unloading on the Phillies. Arthur Meade Jr. says the over in the Philadelphia Phillies game if this is not rained out. I didn't realize we had another issue here in Philly, and they have 34%, and it's not in red, and they think the game's going to go. So let's take so Piker says this one moved 30 cents to Atlanta following the opener of 43% of the tickets. So I had very different numbers. So let's just go over all those numbers and see if that is the case here at Pinnacle as well. So we'll start with the money line here at Pinnacle. This opened with the Phillies at -110, and they're now -130. So 20 cents of movement to the Phillies. So I very, very, very different. And it just depends. What do you trust? Do you want to trust the legal American books? Do you want to trust Pinnacle? It's just all up to you. You have complete autonomy in this business. So, but a 30-cent move towards the Phillies, and this got up to a 20-cent move towards the Phillies. This got up to a 23-cent move towards the Phillies. This was always a move towards the Phillies to me. Rob Freese has got to ride hot teams this year. Atlanta's playing better overall. Give me the Braves money line and the over. And Joe Yurkovich moving on Javier under 2.5 earned runs. So let's get to the total. So we've seen a 23-cent move towards the Phillies. And let's get to this total here. We have it opening at 9 at some offshores, 9 at Pinnacle. Open 9 -109 to the under. Move to 8.5 at 10:17 p.m. at night. And that's where it is. So we have a half-run move to the under and a 23-cent move towards the Phillies. Mike M, I see it. That's a huge move to me at Pinnacle here. Mike shows 43-cent move to the Braves. So this is just.
I see a move to the Braves.
Oh, really?
Too. Yeah.
Wild.
15, 20 cents.
So, with this is the case, let's just look at a couple other books here. So I've got the 23-cent move at Pinnacle to the Phillies. Bet Chris. Actually, let's go to Bet Online. We'll go to Bet Online, see what Bet Online has here for the Phillies. Bet Online has an 18-cent move to the Phillies. Bet Online opened this at -115 at 2:07 p.m. yesterday, and it's just been pretty constant. There was buyback at 4 a.m, but so we have an 18-cent move to the Phillies here. So I guess the offshores are telling a very different story to the legal American books. And again, whatever you want to trust, feel free to trust it. Let's take a look at the cash flow then for this spot. 75% of tickets on the Phillies and 83% of cash. I mean, this is going to make me 74% tickets, 99% cash on the under. This is going to make me move on the Phillies. So
now I see more. Move to the Phillies. This is pretty wild. Here.
Well, talk to us about your thoughts on these two pitchers, and are you making?
See the Braves now at this. Well, the thing is, I see another game with the wind blowing, and how much does that matter here? Braves have just been hitting well. Even the Phillies, a little bit lately. Smith Shawver, I think, is a pretty good pitcher. Washington, obviously, he's had a good start at home. Another one with the Rockies. He did give up a couple home runs, but he's not as good as I think he's pitched so far. I think he's due to get cracked, Jimmy. So I think there's runs, and I don't mind the Phillies at all. But the Braves have just been red hot. They've been hot for me. Betting them their team total -1.5. They've been money. And Nola, the few success, some guys mentioned it. Riley, some of the numbers are gaudy. Acuna owned him. Those two guys just owned his ass. But the other numbers against some of the other guys in the lineup are all right. Aaron Nola's been tough for me to back. He's just especially the last couple of years, he's not a guy that I've wanted my money on.
Yeah. Wow. Look at this. So the Phillies are minus 130 at
Yeah,
Bet
125.
But
Yeah,
listen to this, C-Mac. First 5, they're minus 145.
Oof.
15
I think
cents different.
Smith, he's gonna taste it here.
Wow, that's
on the road. Taste the big leagues.
So that's an interesting angle. If you know, let's pull up exactly what he has done. 20 years old, this kid, and he is being extremely, extremely impressive to even have this opportunity and to keep it. We watch, Dylan Dodd, other pitchers come up and not be able to keep this position on the staff, and he has done that at 20. It's impressive. Let's look at these starts because, Nola at home against the Braves. Maybe it's just me like romanticizing baseball, but I think he steps up here. He's had the one road. He hasn't started on the road yet. That performance against Arizona on the road was out of the bullpen.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 home starts, 2 cushy home starts. God.
I don't love the weather. Like, I look at the Phillies, but team total 4.5. It is plus 110. I see a plus 105.
Oh, this is
I
dope.
might look there.
I messaged Earl Sports Bets to get some information on Gavin Williams because I knew he went to East Carolina. Thank you for that, Earl. I've copied and pasted it, and I will we'll discuss it. Thank you, Earl. Thank you for taking the time. I've looked into Gavin quite a bit, but I really want to hear someone who'd watched him pitch because he only got the 1 year as a starter at East Carolina. He was out of the bullpen for 3 years. Okay, look, a lot of people seeing runs here. This is a really, really tough bet. I feel like I'm on the underdog, but it's a really expensive underdog.
Yeah, no shit.
I mean, I would have to take minus a half, and then let's just see what this would cost. Wow, minus a half first 3's plus 110. I would think I would get more. A minus a half first 5's minus 120. TJ says 1, 2, 3. Gaussman has it. I love that. All right.
I might look again at the team total. The weather I don't love, but maybe first 5 with Phillies.
First 5 team total. Let's just take a look and see what that is. First 5 team total for the Phillies over at Pinnacle is 2.5 at even money.
Yeah, okay. I'm interested. He's very good, and he's got a fastball slider, but can't stay that way, Jimmy. Just fastball slider.
And he's never started on the road. I think that's a really good angle here for this 20-year-old kid.
Yeah, I think I'll let you. I think I'm gonna move on the 2.5 here at the end.
Okay, do you want me to write it in, or are you gonna still?
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Okay, I'm just gonna write it here as a possible. So that'd be a first 5 team total over 2.5, a minus 101 for CMAC, and that is on the Phillies. And I'll put question marks beside it. Okay, let's roll. And look, Troy Torrance is back in the Phillies here. Joey Irving says, I think the Phillies get this one and lose tomorrow. PJ says Phillies spot. And Jay's final takes on Philly minus 1.5. A plus 160. I like seeing all that. Okay, you guys have certainly given me confidence in the Phillies. There's Dabber Cadabra in the house. What up, Dabby Cab? And the Hit to Be Square play of the day is in Detroit and Houston. Detroit and Houston. I like that he's on Houston for that. That gives me more confidence. Okay. I think I got to pull the trigger here. I just have to figure out how to do it without, all this juice. But Okay, let's roll on. 7:05 p.m. Eastern. We have Strategic Investments giving us the. Oh, sorry, I got to do this here. Seattle, New York Yankees giving us the under 9 Strategic Investments. And if you see his house and pool in the Dominican Republic, also he's written a book on capping. He's a great capper for us to be running with. 1-0 Jays. God, I came so close to that first 3. Okay, whatever. Okay, that's exciting. The levels play of the day's Yankees money line first 5 at plus 134 for a unit and a half. He's also on Yankees money line at plus 146. Phillies run line first 5. Oh, he's on Phillies run line right there too. Oh God, I want to join you on NOLA. All right, let's talk about Mariners Yankees. We're in the Bronx. It's upsetting. I was going over everything yesterday, and I was trying to keep my quantity low just because I had a really bad Friday and didn't have a very good weekend. And then, but my cap was, why is George Kirby's going to have all his friends and family out there? That's not good for a young pitcher. I don't want that, and still I didn't take the Yankees first 5, but goddamn, it really pissed me off. Luis Castillo versus Johnny Brito. We've seen this constant movement towards the Yankees. I'll see if that's still happening. Let's start with the weather in the Bronx. 69 Fahrenheit, 10.2 miles per hour in, goes down to 8.4 miles per hour. See what Ballpark Pal thinks of Yankee Stadium here. The worst offensive ballpark here, according to Ballpark Pal, minus 12% home runs, minus 15% doubles and triples, and minus 12% runs. So let's take a look at the total for this one. Oh, wow. I don't know how he gave us a 9 on this.
Yeah, 7.5.
Yeah, this is 7 now. This opened at 7.5. It's now 7 here. 7, minus 120 to the over. So it basically is still a 7.5 here. So we have that. Now let's take a look at the cash flow for this one. We have this constant move towards the Yankees. Wow. Unbelievable. I don't know. I think Castillo's a big game pitcher. I think he's going to come in the Bronx and pitch well, but the Mariners have gone from minus 164 to minus 149. So 15 cents of movement towards the Yankees is not something to give you any confidence in if you were on the Mariners. For the total, you have 58% of tickets, 80% cash on the under. And then for the money line, 65% of tickets, 87% of cash on the Yankees. My guy Lamont Williams, thank you. JPZ bet the Jays live plus 105.
Man, Sandy worked there, Jay.
Is he getting worked? Oh, fuck.
2-0. Someone tell me. I think there's a
good God.
First and third still 2. Maybe.
Good God, I need this. All right. Castillo, Johnny Brito. So we have not seen Johnny Brito since May 20th at Cincy. They sent him to the minors, and they were telling him that he has to work on his accuracy, that he was just dropping way he was just walking way too many batters. So let's just take a look and see if anything changed for him in the minors here. Let's get the minor league numbers up here and see what we have for Brito. So he's made 4 starts with Wilkes-Barre Scranton, 7.08 ERA. And that's just atrocious. 20 1/3. He's allowed 16 earned runs, 6 home runs. He's walked 10 batters. He's a 1.82 WHIP, and now he gets a chance to pitch in the majors. I like at home at Yankee Stadium. He's throwing 14 1/3 innings, 10 earned runs, 12 Ks, 7 walks, 16 hits. Now, the Mariners aren't hitting righties, 193, 638. The only team worse is the Yankees, 195, 619 OPS. Mariners bullpen's not being good. This market move towards Johnny Brito is one of those wild things. I like the psychology of a pitcher going down to the minors and understanding that he's got to stay up in the majors, but he didn't pitch well. He has no right to really have this opportunity. Take it away for us here, C-Mac, Yankees, Mariners.
Yeah, it's the head scratcher here, Jay. He talked about. He's just got lit up here in the minors. He wasn't that good, in April and May. He had some some decent outings. Everything here is the under. You talked about how bad the lineups are. The under's been good for these teams. I get it, but now the 7.5s are basically gone. There's 7s, and then there's 4s and a lot of 3.5s. First 5. You trust Brito? That's like this is it, dude. I don't like. Can he? Mariners don't have great bats. Because I look at the under as well. Yankees haven't hit Castillo really at all, and this price is just too big. Yeah, he's the ace for the Mariners, but a team that hits like that, this number is too high. This was the obvious under here, but I don't think I get there.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stay off of the spot here. I'm just not gonna go up against these spots, but what the hell? And TJ says someone knows something off this one. Let's move on. 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Earl Sports Bet stop by.
Maybe he's got some sticky stuff.
Yeah, something. It's wild. So we have Gavin Williams making his MLB debut here for the Cleveland Guardians. And he's come from East Carolina. So he spent 3 years in the bullpen. They weren't going to let him start because he was so wild. He had the first full year at East Carolina. He was electric. 4-0 Jays. Look at that. Oh, fuck. I need this shit so fucking bad. A's Guardians. So let's talk about this kid, Gavin Williams, 23 years old. When he got the chance to be a starter in 2021, he went 10-1 with a 1.88 ERA and 130 Ks over 81 and a third. And then he was, picked in the first round by the Guardians. In minor league, he was awesome. I mean, we can go over all the numbers, whether it be Akron or Columbus, AA or AAA, but 37 starts, 2.31 ERA, 0.96 WHIP, struck out 230 batters, over 175 and a third. And the walk rates, he's fixed. Now 1.9 walks per 9 in the minors. His fastball is between 96 and 99 and can hit 100. And then the issue here is that it's not a high spin rate. It's not a high spin rate. And, this is a nice opportunity going up against the A's. Noli Knows has given us the skull here. So we know what Noli Knows thinks about this spot. 5-0 Jays. God damn, I need this.
Nice.
So
I wish I kind of took the over.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Well, I mean,
6.5.
Moving down to 6.5 was just why. Like, it's a good sign that move is not going to come to fruition. So Earl Sports Bets, who's been watching him pitch, says he's on the first 5 -1/2, full game -1. Noli Knows has given us the skull, so expecting a really nice performance here from 23-year-old Gavin Williams. Then you have Paul Blackburn on the other side, coming off a 4-3 loss at home versus the Rays. I had him first 3, and he pushed the first 5. That was the spot when Paul Blackburn's last start at home versus the Rays, where TJ's gift was the Rays plus 1.5, and that cashed. And Jose pushed the first 5, and I lost the first 3. I was the only one to lose, taking that, betting Blackburn. I kind of like Blackburn. That was a tough start against the Rays. Now, the Guardians are hitting righties.
Oh, yeah.
Get in on there to them to win the division. I got plus 380. It's still plus 230. I don't know how it's plus 230. 286 average versus righties since June 1st, 759 OPS. And the A's are actually hitting okay, 249, 698. A's bullpen's been really good, 3.38 ERA since June 1st. The Guardians, 2.92 ERA. So that's the situation. Let's start with the weather here at Progressive. We have 79 Fahrenheit, 11.8 miles per hour in, dies down to 8.2. And you'd think that's, heavy, blowing in heavy. But this is an offensive situation, according to Ballpark Pal. Plus 3% home runs, plus 14% doubles and triples, plus 6% runs. JTL says Blackburn was getting his ass kicked last start. 92 pitches after 15 outs, and they still put him in for the 6th inning. I don't know about his ass kick, but
he got out of some jams and stuff, and yeah.
Yeah. No, I feel you.
It worked.
All right, so Justin McAvee saying Rays are up 1-0, so that was a good stay off for me, and that was basically you, C-Mac, helped keep me off of that spot, so thank you there. Let's talk about D-line history here for this one. move this over. Okay, here we go. Line history here. Williams versus Blackburn. We have Cleveland opening up minus 174. That's exactly where they are right now. So we have no movement here. Let's take a look at the total. We already got the skull from Noli, so he thinks this is a dead under. Let's take a look. This total opened up at 8, and it moved to 8.5 at 11:33 a.m. Back to 8, though. So there's been a 5-cent move to the over and no movement on the side. Let's go over to the cash flow and see if that all correlates here. 90% of the tickets and 98% of the cash on Cleveland, and no movement towards them. That's wild. Then we have 70. Oh, sorry. Then we have. What the hell's the Cleveland? Sorry, I just lost it. Oh my God. Sorry. Oh, here we go. 59% of tickets on the under, no cash flow. Take it away for us, CMAC. The floor is yours. 1-0 Rockies, by the way. 1-0 Rockies as well. Take it away for us, CMAC. We have Blackburn versus the MLB debut of Gavin Williams.
Yeah, debut here of Williams, the big prospect. I think he pitches well here. At least he's at home. I think he can do well against this A's lineup that's hit and miss, which I don't really love. Paul Blackburn, you mentioned it. This was the guy last year that you take until the second half of the year, and he ended up getting hurt like he normally does, and he got hit bad at times. He can, but he's back. He's fresh. This is only his fourth start. The one thing I have issue. I was on the under yesterday. I think you said you were, as well. I like it again. The Guardians have just been hitting lately, but they should not be this price with the rookie. I can't take them. No way. So I lean the A's here to sneak some first 5. And I like the under. The first 5, there's 4.5. It is minus 120, 125, and the full game's 8 basically everywhere. You see that?
Yeah, let me just see what. Yeah, I'm getting an 8, and they've moved it. They've moved it to 4 at Bet365. Let's just see what it would be at 4.5 minus 135 here. But you can easily get a minus, better than that. Let's see what Pinnacle's hanging this at. Yeah, I get it. I think the A's are alive, and that 5-cent move towards the over makes me think that the books think that these starters are a little more vulnerable than I would put them at, because only 41% of the tickets here are on that over. And it's wow. So here the 8.5. Oh, sorry, the 4.5 is what we're looking at. Sorry, the 4.5
wins blowing in.
Minus 117. That's a good price over at Pinnacle.
Yeah, I don't know if on a full game. Yeah, my kid only got Jose Ramirez 4 for 10 with 3 doubles. Everyone else, nothing.
And there is Mike M.
Blackburn.
Jose Ramirez is the Ribeye RBI play of the day.
Yeah, he's the only guy with smart numbers and hitting better as of late. Yeah, I'll let you know. I don't know how I want to play the under here.
Cool. Yeah, I don't want to be lazy here. And I think that the A's first 5 is live at this price. I mean, Matty Randall started the taint play today. He would be fading Gavin Williams. He loves fading these guys off their first performance. But man, this is some elite. This isn't August when teams that are out of it, just kind of want to get a
bringing
peek.
Them up.
Yeah, this is first round top prospects. TJ says go live bet the Raves minus 145 and thank him later. Okay, I have a lean towards the A's first 5, but I have no real need to get there, especially if I'm going to be rolling here after the Jays game. So, excuse me.
I saw this last night. Yeah, June 10th, 8 innings at Cleveland, 4 hits, no earned for Blackburn.
Last year?
Yeah, last year.
Mike M says my numbers show it's bloody bottom day for Blackburn. You only get bloody bottom 2 ways. One involves the paddle, the other involves the snake.
Yeah, that's true. What Noli says, they pitch well on their debuts.
Yeah,
and they were a big
Allen.
price. Remember the Guardians? I think I was on with you that day. He was like 170 or something like that.
Mickey Cohen says, does anyone chat up numbers on Paul Blackburn for his 5 the past 3 years? We know that he was just a cash cow in the first half of the season last year, and then he started getting just lit up and smoked. The Quinnim is still backing him. Mickey Cohen on Cleveland -1. All right. Let's roll on. TJ says that St. Louis over was so easy it dropped a full run. Wow. Okay, let's roll on. Next up for us, 7:40 p.m. Eastern, the Boston Red Sox. Jose does not have internet at his house, so he's not going to be able to join us here for that Red Sox game. And
I'll be right back, Jim.
Okay, my man. We don't even have a graphic for it. Sadly, no graphic for it, but we do have this. Jose at the horse track with me. We don't have a graphic for the Red Sox game, but we do have this. All right, let's break this down. Boston Red Sox at Minnesota Twins, Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Let's go over to the weather here in Minnesota. 87 Fahrenheit, sticky icky, 9.8 miles per hour right to left, gets down to 8.7 miles per hour. Let's go, J-Ro. Let's get that cash. Let's take a look at the expectation at Target Field. Minus 12% home runs, but plus 10% doubles, triples, plus 4% singles, and plus 2% overall runs. So, Mike M giving us the breakdown. I'm gonna copy and paste that. That can be. I like that. I like that a lot. Oh, that's funny. Okay. Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Garrett Whitlock going up against Sonny Gray. Let's go over to the line history here for this one. I don't know why. I can just imagine Mike saying it, I guess. Okay, here we go. It looks like we've had a big move to the Boston Reds. Oh, no, just a legit move, though. And it just came recently. This line opened up at 5:15 p.m. last night. And the first move was pretty heavy towards Sonny Gray, 8 cents of movement over the first 6 hours. Since then, it's come back, and there's now been a huge move in the last couple hours towards Red Sox. Red Sox now plus 104, 6 cents of movement to the Boston Red Sox, but it wasn't there initially. From a total side of things, this opened up at 8.5 and moved to 8 within 6 minutes. Lasted there for 13 hours before it went back to 8.5. So now we have 5 cents. So this is interesting. So we have 5 cents of movement to the over, and we have 6 cents of movement to the Red Sox. But the initial moves were to the Twins and the under. So that is conflicting. So keep that in mind when we go over the cash. So just to catch you up here, C-Mac, we have a 5 cent move to the over, but the initial move for the first 13 hours was to the under. Then we have a move to the Red Sox, but the initial move for the first 16 hours was to the Twins. So these are moves that have happened late. They've happened late. Okay, so let's go over to the cash flow here, and we have on the total 61% of the tickets, 61% of cash on the over, and the markets have now moved towards the over slightly. From the money line, we have 50% of the tickets and 91% of the cash on the Minnesota Twins. Wow. And we've had this big move in the last hour towards the Boston Red Sox. Justin McElvey really likes Red Sox team total over 3.5. Londo's on the Red Sox Twins. First 5 under 4.5. Whitlock coming off a great start at home over Colorado. But that wasn't the start for me. It was the start against the Yankees 2 back when the market moved. It was against Garrett Cole. The market moved heavy towards Boston. I stayed off of it, and Jose hammered Boston. Also, Jose moved on Boston that night. When we got here the next morning, there'd been 25-cent move to the Red Sox into Whitlock, and then Whitlock stepped up. So Whitlock's looked really good lately. He's not been good on the road so far this year, but the sample size is 20 1/3, 5.31 ERA, 16 Ks, 2 walks, 313 opponents batting average, and 6 home runs allowed in the 20 1/3. Sonny Gray has not looked quite as good of late. If we look at his season-long numbers, he looks awesome. But if we look at just of late, and even when he was awesome, he was getting out of jams, and that's his veteran savvy. At home, all year, he's allowed 1 home run in 76 innings. I mean, that's unbelievable.
That's crazy.
Unbelievable. Yeah. 2.37 ERA, 1.28 WHIP. Last start, 4 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 Ks, 4 walks, and 8-4 loss at home versus Tigers. He did not look good. Now he's got consecutive home starts. At home, he's been excellent. 1.96 ERA, 2.25 opponents batting average. That's where he allowed the lone home run. Red Sox versus righties since June 1st, 265, 773 OPS. Twins versus righties, 234, 708. Red Sox bullpen, 3.67 ERA. Twins bullpen, 4.12 ERA since June 1st. Take it away, C-Mac. This market move towards Red Sox makes me want to back him and Whitlock and back them early. Take it away.
Yeah, I liked the Red Sox yesterday. At the last minute, I didn't play it, and they came to play. What's Sonny Gray here? Are we gonna get? You talked about the homers. He in years past that would be his problem, and usually he give up a couple, during a start. So in like his last start, the 4 walks you mentioned, that's always been the trouble with him. It's driving me nuts. You mentioned him getting out of the jams, but man, he can be a tough watch at times for the stuff he has. Whitlock, what do we get? The first few starts on the road, he got rocked. He gave up 5 earned both those, but the last couple of road starts have been pretty good. There's no way I want the Twins. Maybe you think this is cheap here with Sonny Gray, but I don't want it. If I know these pitchers could be well, I do lean under, but I don't want that either, I think, in the end.
Yeah. I want the Red Sox.
Red Sox, at least the last 2 weeks starting to hit a little bit better lately, last week. Twins down at the bottom, 227 the last 2 weeks.
Would this have to be a full game situation then? Probably.
Yeah.
You want the offense for 9 innings.
True, yeah. How's the Red Sox? I have it right here, their bullpen.
Well, since June 1st, it's better than the Twins bullpen.
Better, yeah. But
I agree. Introducing all signs point to the Red Sox. So I'm just trying to figure out if I think that Whitlock, I mean, this may be hard to believe looking at the numbers, but I think the Red Sox might have a slight advantage on the mound.
Just how the Twins bats, you mean? Too? I mean, they just.
Well, then you add that in, and you're
yeah.
Well, this is the first 5 in full game, and you see 91% of the cash on the Twins, and the market's now opening up their arms to more Twins money.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Middle of the second, it is 0-0 Chicago-Pittsburgh, and anybody who bets unders knows that means very little, but still, it's good to get off to an okay start. Okay, I want the Red Sox. I just think that the full game is probably the best way to play it. But I like them first 5 too. And this was last year I wouldn't bet this. I would have stayed off. But this year, when I see 90+% of the cash on one side, I think that trust the books opening up their arms to that cash. So is the question, is the reason why you're staying off of this because Sonny Gray can be great, or is it because we're still haven't seen Whitlock have prolonged success in the majors?
Yeah, Whitlock for me, but I'm close. I like the Red Sox too here, Jay.
Yeah, I get it. Look, I'm moving on the Red Sox. I've just got to decide if it's first 5 or double up. Troy Torrance says when there's 70% of cash on the side and the line ain't moving, it's not a bet. All right. I'm on. I'm in. I'm
Give it to me. I'm in.
Do you want first 5 or full game, or what do you
Give
want?
me full game.
All right, let's do some quick line shopping for CMAC on the Boston Red Sox full game here. This could be shaping up for a day that I need so bad. So full game plus 104 at Pinnacle looks like the best, and it is. So all the books are moving towards it. Oh, this has got to be a must bet right away. So CMAX on the Red Sox plus 104. All right, it is now 2-0 Rockies. Justin McElvey on his 45th birthday needs 2 more runs for his play today to cash. All right, let's move on. Texas Rangers at the Chicago White Sox. This was a spot where I was like, do I need to talk this out with everybody before I have the balls to move on it? And I was like, no, I'm betting this. I'm betting Kopech, and I'm fading Martin Perez on the road. I took the White Sox first 3 and first 5, and it was costly. It was costly. Justin Searcy. We all can't wait for that, Justin. Rangers 45-28, 21-15 on the road at the Chicago White Sox, 32-43, 18-18 at home. We're at Guaranteed Rate Field in Chicago, Illinois. No, I didn't want to triple up, Troy. It wasn't that I didn't fully believe it, but I just didn't want to triple up. 74 Fahrenheit, 8.8 miles per hour left to right is the weather. And let's get over to the Ballpark Pals expectation here of Guaranteed Rate Field. Plus 14% home runs, minus 11% doubles and triples, and plus 3% runs. Let's move over to the line history here for this one. We have the White Sox opening up at even money. They're now minus 103. This line opened at 3:42 p.m. yesterday, so we've seen almost no movement here. Move over to the total. This opened up at 9, and it moved to 9.5. So this opened up at 9. It lasted there for an hour and a half, moved to 9.5, and then it moved to 10. It was at 10, between 3 and 4 in the morning, and it was also went to 9.5 and then back to 10. It was at 10 all this morning, and it just recently moved back to 9.5. So we have 4 cents of movement on the under. 4 cents of movement on the under. Professor Chris says Rangers for me. Model has Rangers a much bigger favorite. The issue here for me is I believe in Kopech, and I think the Martin Perez's numbers on the road are real. And let's grab his splits from last year too and make sure that we can trust them. But here we have 81% of the tickets and 90% of the cash on the Texas Rangers. So why is the line not moving towards them? We have a slight move to the White Sox, so they're opening up their arms to Rangers money. From the total side of things, 38% of tickets are on the under and 71% of cash, and yet this is moved to the over. Troy Torrance says Perez is vulnerable. Mike M says, I've been saying it for a week. When the Rangers win the first 5, next game goes over, and when they don't, it doesn't. So Martin Perez, 6.3, 4.54 ERA, 1.50 whip. He's been very good at home. His last start was up against Gaussman at home, and he looked very good. 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 3 Ks, and 2 walks. On the road, he's thrown 45 2/3. He has a 6.5 ERA. Opponents are hitting 330 off of him. He's allowed 11 home runs in 45 2/3, 30 Ks, 19 walks. So what is the issue? Well, the issue is the White Sox don't hit lefties. They forget the vividness bias of them being able to smash them. 228 average, 624 OPS. Rangers versus righties, 272, 822 OPS since June 1st. So that's concerning. But I like Kopech. I like him. I think he's a talented pitcher. We know he's got issues, where he's tipping his pitches, and he's got that's something that it's hard to bet on a pitcher who has this problem of tipping his pitches. But his last start was at the Mariners. He went 4 1/3, allowed 1 earned run. Now he walked 6, but this year at home he's got a 3.83 ERA. He has a 190 opponent's batting average. The problem is that they barrel up when they touch him. 10 home runs, they've hit against them in 44 2/3. Take it away for us, C-Mac. I'm on the White Sox first 3 and first 5. This is a fade of Perez, and I'm cutting the game down. But anybody who wants White Sox full game, I get it. Take it away, C-Mac.
Yeah, Kopech here at home. You mentioned he's been better as of late because watch it. Yeah, with his walks, you mentioned the tipping the pitches. It seems like he's gotten it down better, since the beginning of the year. You mentioned Perez. Last year on the road, he was very good. Did you touch on that? Yeah, like a 2.3 ERA, something like that, I believe. I have to double check it, but was good. But he has not been. White Sox have good numbers. He got shelled June 11th last year against them. He got 7 runs, 6 earned, 12 hits, and the numbers show it. They're hitting 423 off him. I get it. I kind of, it's just a little bit of high total, but I think the Rangers can get to Kopech as well. Like I said, I had the over yesterday. I kind of lean that way again here.
Yeah, I think that the market is kind of letting us know that that's the move here. Let's just go back to ballpark pile quickly. What did they have again? They had so they think it's an offensive spot, plus 14% home runs. The total's gone from 9 to 9.5. We think Perez is vulnerable and Kopech isn't lights out. White Sox bullpen's being a little better than the Rangers. Rangers bullpen being a little better in June than they were in May. They were atrocious in May. Yeah, I kind of like the over. Mike says, I've been saying this for a week. When the Rangers win the first 5, the next game goes over. And when they lose, it doesn't. So, yeah, I like it. I think that this is worth a move.
Okay.
And let's just see here. And but they lost the first 5, so that the trend says under to Mikey. All right, I'm just going to keep it where I stand here. I got the White Sox first 3 and first 5. I'm fading Perez on the road after a great start at home, and I trust Kopech. But I fear the Rangers lineup way more than I fear the White Sox lineup, so I want to cut the game down. I'm comfortable with the way that I bet it. And Rocco Rogers taking Perez over 2.5 earned runs at minus 140. So, C-Mac, is this a move on the over that you're going to make, or you want to hold off?
I'm going to hold off, but I might get there.
All right. We have 2 more games on the board, and the first one I did attack, 9:38 p.m. Eastern. And I'm going up against Jay in this spot. Yeah, Benjamin, I saw that. They did not win the first 5 yesterday, yeah. Jay's final
I think they got the 2 and the 6 and tied it.
Yeah.
4-4, yeah.
Dodgers, Angels. Jay's final take is backing Michael Grove here, Dodgers first 5. And maybe C-Mac is the right guy to give us a breakdown on Michael Grove, because I watched him in his last start, and he seemed to be – so he allowed 4 solo shots, but he seemed to look good. He had movement. It's just that when he got touched, he got absolutely tagged. He got just lit up. And, it wouldn't surprise me. He seems comfortable in the big moments. I don't know why he's being so bad. He wasn't bad when he came up last year. He wasn't good, but he had like a 4.5, 4.6 ERA or something. Right now, we're talking about a guy sitting with an 8.1 ERA and a 1.60 WHIP. The Dodgers got the grand slam from Taylor in the 6th inning of that game against the White Sox and ended up winning in extras. I'm on Shohei Ohtani. I took first 3 minus a half and first 5 minus a half. The first 3 minus half was plus 100. The first 5 minus half was expensive, minus 125, which makes me nervous. And we've had a big market move to the Dodgers. That makes me uncomfortable. I guess not a big one, but 5-cent move to the Dodgers. The market had been moving towards the Angels. This only came out at 8:32 a.m. because we weren't sure if it was going to be Grove that's pitching. Jay's final take got the first 5 at plus 160. Now it's plus 135. Got to feel good about this one. So let's take a look at the weather first, and then we'll take a look at the line history, and then hand it over to C-Mac. And I'd be very interested in your take on Michael Grove. But let's start with the weather. 72 Fahrenheit, 10.3 miles per hour out, dies down to 8.3. We have plus 3% home runs, minus 3% runs. Then we'll go over to the line history here. Oh, we did that already. We did the money line. We just haven't done the total. This total here opened up at 8.5, and Pinnacle has just moved it to 9. They moved it to 9. Actually, they did an hour and 15 minutes ago. So it's been moved to 9. Londo is also on the Angels' first 5. Jay says he kind of likes the over 4.5, but he's priced out now. And Rocco Rogers is on Grove to allow more than 2.5 earned runs here. Shohei Ohtani loves these opportunities. There's also been a lot of talk about him wanting to play for the Dodgers. If any of that's true, we don't know. But his last start at Texas, he stepped up 6 innings, 2 earned runs, only 3 Ks. At home, he's got a 2.66 ERA, 57 strikeouts in 44 innings. He's allowed 4 home runs. The Dodgers aren't hitting righties since June 1st, just 242, 686. And the Angels are smashing them, 262, 837. 2 things that I'm not used to seeing. One, there's no team worse since June 1st against right-handed pitchers than the New York Yankees. And there's no team that has a worse bullpen ERA since June 1st than the LA Dodgers. I mean, those 2 things I'm not used to seeing. And the Angels bullpen's been really good. So
I know their bullpen's been a lot better. And I mean, I don't even remember, I think they only get better, but Dodger bullpen, 20, 25 years, always top 5 bullpen.
Always.
For the most part. Yeah. Always.
Yeah. So just before you roll, 70% of tickets, 81% of cash on the under. And then 72% of tickets, 88% cash on the Angels. So with the theory that we've been using, that would make an auto bet on the Dodgers with 88% of cash on the Angels and the line now moving towards the Dodgers. But I've already locked in on the fade of Michael Grove. Take it away, C-Mac. What are your thoughts on Grove, and are you betting this one?
Yeah, that's I don't love it. People see it. You see this price, obviously, with the Dodgers. Ohtani, this is just where you want him, like you talked about, at home. He's just a different pitcher. He's more sometimes a fade for me on the road at times. Michael Grove, he's got good stuff, Jimmy. I've been saying it for weeks now. He's not ready for the bigs. And you mentioned that start. I watched it too. Was good at times, and then just those home runs just smashed. He's just hanging his head.
And there were no doubters.
No doubters.
Yeah.
Just line drive, just bullets.
Yeah.
It's gone. So this is tough. The Dodgers maybe can get some off Ohtani, but I have to say that lineup is real problems when like Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman don't hit. They really can struggle. And I mean, you've seen it in the playoffs the last few years with them. Like, I agree with you. I just don't like the money because my first thing I wrote down last night, Angels first 5 minus the half. I like Mike's play. I think Ohtani and Trout. Until I see something from Grove, he had a decent start against the Cubs. What was that, his 3rd start? But I've seen just about all of them. And maybe he pitches well here, but geez. How bad the Dodger bullpen's been.
It's been so bad. There hasn't been as big of a move here at Bet365. Let me just see again. So the first 3 minus a half. So it's actually, I got 5. I beat the line move by 5 cents. That's interesting. And then first 5 minus a half is exactly where I bet it. So I guess that makes me feel a little better. James Blake says, do you bet big on games you really like? For example, games you doubled up on. It's been a mistake for the last few years, and I've been talking about trying to open up more on games that I really like, and I did that. I'm better at that in hockey. I was, in the playoffs, there were some spots I really liked, and I was able to really fire. Here, I just keep my units all the same, and right now in baseball, it's just $150. So when I do double up, that's how I'll keep the unit size the same. So I am doubling up, when I do that. So that's how I bet more, as I double up or triple up or something of that matter. But I could do a much better job at opening up on spots I really like, and it's something I've talked about more, and something I used to do much better. When it was life and death, like food on the table and rent, I seem to be able to open up a little better than I do now when I'm a little more comfortable. But Dodgers, Angels. So look, I'm Angels first 3 minus half and first 5 minus half, and I'm a little nervous about it. Is there anything you want here? Do we move on to the final game?
Yeah, let's move on. I might be on a prop or 2, in this one.
Cool. And anything, you can give us the props now, or you can tweet them out and tag me, and I'll put them on your record. Final game on the board, 9:45 p.m. Eastern. the San Diego Padres at San Francisco Giants. We're at Oracle Park in San Francisco, California. This San Francisco Giants team is just relentless. I mean, they just come at you, and they just never stop coming at you. I seen them screw over my winning day yesterday. I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. Darvish has not been good this year. 5-5, 4.74 ERA, 1.2 WHIP. WHIP's still pretty good. 79 strikeouts in 74 innings, 23 walks, 10 homers. His last start at home versus the Rays, I doubled up on him, and it hurt badly. That was on Friday. 5 innings, 8 hits, 6 earned runs, 2 homers, 5 Ks, 1 walk. On the road, he's been atrocious. We're talking 6.19 ERA. And he's been bad. And now we have a bullpen day with Sean Manaea as the primary for the Padres. Ryan Walker will start it off. He's been very good this year. And, Ryan Walker started on Monday, and he didn't look that good. He went 1 2/3, 3 hits, 1 earned run. So, Mike M says teams coming off back-to-back walk-offs in the series are 3-10. And Arthur Meade Jr. had the same issue with the Padres the last 2 nights. I mean, the last 2 days they've fallen late. But Manaea has looked a little better. He's looked a little better than he looked off the start. But those have been on the road. At home, he still looked awful. It's funny. He's throwing 20 2/3 at home. He has 30 strikeouts in those 20s, but 7.40 ERA. He's only allowed 2 home runs, but 271 opponent's batting average. And Jace Vaughn takes a San Francisco plus 108. It was almost his play of the day. The Padres are raking lefties. I just don't see why they wouldn't rake Manaea when he comes in. 267, 876 OPS. The Giants versus righties, 249, 771. Both bullpens have been good, especially the Giants. So that's our situation here. Joe Yurvich has moved on the Angels. I like seeing that. So let's take a look at the factors and then hand it over to CMAC for our final game on the card. This 59 Fahrenheit, 16.4 miles per hour out to center, 16.4 to 15.9. But we know that Oracle just plays different with the swirling winds. And even with that blowing out here, Oracle's the second, minus 27% home runs and minus 7% runs. So that's absolutely wild. Thank you, Arthur Meade, for running with us. Then let's go to the line history here on this spot, Darvish and Walker. Let's get back over to Pinnacle. So this opened with the Giants at plus 111. They're now plus 102. So we have 9 cents of movement towards the San Francisco Giants. And we'll go over to the total in this one. We have it opening up at 8. And we have a slight move to the under. 5 cents of movement to the under. So slight move to the under and a legit move to the Giants. So we have 70% of tickets and 91% of cash on the Giants. 9 cents of movement, at least something. 88% of tickets and 97% of cash on the over and almost no move. Oh, no, Robert Franklin. I don't like that. TJ says dead under here. Dead under. Take it away for a CMAC. Final game on the board, Padres-Giants.
Yeah. We'll see with this total, and then how the Padres have given up late. Darvish just hasn't been good. At home, on the road, he's gotten tagged. This Giants team rip him too. I mean, his couple starts last year against the Giants were bad. I think he gave up 7 or 9 one start at San Francisco last year. I'm gonna have to look it up. Manaea on Friday, he was the primary. All the money was on the Giants. Giants come back and win that game in extra innings. But with him in, I had to take the Dodgers first 5. I got like plus 105 minus the half. And they were up 4-0. They got 4 runs off him. I can't trust. There's no way. Maybe like Padres, like first 5. I don't do this too much. Giants full game. Darvish just, maybe he has a good start here. But, and he looked like maybe he has. After a couple of bad ones, maybe he has a good one here. But, there's a bunch of guys that hit him well. And I'll look to those props. And on the flip side, Manaea, he's probably going to go 3 or 4. Bogarts has pretty good numbers, 6 for 11. Tatis is red hot. He's got solid numbers. So, yeah, because they're kind of like at San Diego, too. San Francisco, I love an under. I can't get here.
Yeah, I'm going to have to stay off of this spot. We all see it when Minai's on the mound. He just doesn't look good. Padres smashing lefties. It makes me think that, maybe an over is up for grabs, but TJ saying dead under. I'm just not reading this game clearly, and I have a ton of action today, so I'm going to stay off. Let's review all action, and also remember Justin McElvey birthday picks from CMAC and myself. So let's review all action. We start out staying off Orioles Rays, thank God. We have the double up on the Blue Jays here. By the way, Rob Free says the management of the Padres bullpen is atrocious. Time and time again, terrible decisions are being made once the starter exits.
Yeah.
So Jays Marlins, we have the double up. Unfortunately, and then Justin McElvey has the Rockies team total over, which looks strong right now. Unfortunately, I did not move on the gift, which was the Cubs money line, and I have the first 5 in full game under, which then I did not move on the first 3 under 2.5 in Kansas City, Detroit, which I liked, but and I wish I had, but didn't move on it. By the way, Joe, you're saying Padres 1-9 in Game 3 of the series that Darvish starts. Wow. Ron Crawford, spreadsheet play today's Arizona -1. C-Mac gets his card started with the Astros first 5 -0.5. I'm on the Astros as well, first 3 and first 5. I'm fading these pitchers with horrific splits, and we'll see how that works out. Cardinals, Nats, we stayed off. C-Mac, you were thinking of the Philadelphia Phillies first 5 team total over 2.5 -101 in Braves, Phillies.
Yeah, I'm on it. Give it to me. Okay. I don't love the weather, but I think the Phillies can get to him.
I'm going to move on the Phillies first 3, first 5. I'm just going to study it a little bit longer before I need to look at it, bet it, and if I bet it, I'll tweet it out. Tom Miggins is on it, which is nice. Levels play days also Yankees first 5 and full game. I'm staying off the Mariners Yankees. Clear sharp money here on the Yankees. Then I wonder if I move on the A's first 5. I think maybe I've got enough action and stay off. Mike M. Ribeye RBI play today is Ramirez at +140. Then we have C-Mac on the Red Sox full game +104. I'm going to move. I'm not sure if it'll be a double up, but I'm going to move as soon as it shows over on either the first 5 or the full game or both. Rangers, White Sox. I'm all over the White Sox first 3 and first 5. Then the Angels, I'm on them first 3 -0.5, first 5 -0.5. But Jay's final take is on the Dodgers first 5, which makes me nervous. And Padres Giants, I stayed off. Did you want to add anything, player props, or did you want more time to study them and then tweet them out?
Yeah, I'll tweet them out too. And we talked about looking at the A's and then under maybe the Rangers Sox over. If I move, I'll put it on Twitter.
All right, I like it. Respect. There's a man on second already for the Royals. So maybe it was good that I didn't get in on that first 3. Bankroll Spence's Bobby Witt catches over 1.5 total bases his first at bat. Kid rakes against lefties recently. He's the only guy you can trust in that lineup, unless Salvi's in there. But yeah, Witt. Every time Witt's up there, I feel good because I have way too much Royals action.
Yeah, when he's hot too. I mean, he can get a little cold, but yeah, he's the talent for sure.
Well, there we go. There is our show for today. Tomorrow we'll have CFL and WNBA and MLB. It's a shorter MLB card. We have the Travelers Championship. Is that right, C-Mac?
Yeah, Travelers coming up. I'll have that posted too.
Okay, beautiful. And then you are with Jose on Friday.
Yeah, I'll be on with Sharpie as well.
Oh, beautiful.
Here. I'll give you props for sure tomorrow, and I might be on today as well.
Okay, dope. So Miami with 2 on and 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. Come on, Gassman, get us fucking home, son of a bitch. Okay, there we go. C-Mac, my man. Any last words here for the Cappers supporting the show?
Oh, as always, as I say, best goddamn chat in the goddamn game, hands down to all these guys. Mike M, all the regulars, Robert Franklin, Bankroll Spence. We need more people in the green too. Jay, Rob, Free, all our guys in here. Shout out to you guys, Justin. Thanks for joining us. Arthur Mead with the dono. Man, I love doing this.
Yeah, it's fun. Thank you guys. AOD, Parl Angel, TJ, Jarek White, Mike M, Jay's Final Take, Bake Roll Spence, Quinimus, Justin McElvey, birthday picks. Justin McElvey, birthday picks. So one last look here. I want your Stacks Play Today to cash very badly for you. But afternoon action, I like that C-Mac and I are both on the Astros first 5.
Yeah.
I like that. But I guess it's at the – you know what? I feel like the Red Sox are going to take care of business here again.
Okay. I was going to go with that. Go. I like it. You got it. Okay.
But I could take either. So if it's you, were you deciding?
So I'll take the Astros.
Okay. So
I was going to maybe go Phillies. I don't know the weather, but I think they could get. I think they get to him. Okay.
So for
birthday
C-Mac,
picks all around.
It's the Astros first 5
Yeah.
minus a half, and for me, it's the Red Sox full game. Red Sox full game.
Beautiful.
There we go. Thank you guys so much. I got to get ready here. So let me just set this up because I got to close out this show. Our man Jose will be, if he has to go down to the studio, he will. So don't worry about his say plays today. Don't forget Balking Dead, 3:10 p.m. Eastern. And tonight, the night sesh popping off at 10 Eastern with Dabby Cab and Dutch Boy Fresh. Thank you guys so much for supporting. Let's go out there and get that cash. Let's get the Jays home, man. We need the Jays home. But most importantly, because we got 2 outs now, thank God. Most importantly, happy birthday to you, Justin McElvey. Enjoy it, man. 45 years old. Go out there and get that cash today. And happy birthday. Thank you for being a part of us here. And let's go out there and let you, hey, Los bookmakers, get that cash.
Baby.